We're here at the what is this? The West Hollywood Hemp Fest with Steve Kubby, and you're a legend in the medical marijuana field. It's nice to see you here.
It's nice to be here, see all my friends again.
Yes, well, we've never met, but it's great to have you on our show for the first time. We understand
running for president.
Steve's going to be running for president. Now, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was peer pressure. I was up on stage at Hemp Fest. We were at the Magic Hour, 4:20, on a Sunday, and my friends were all there: Jack Hara, Ed Rosenthal, Chris Conrad, Alan St. Pierre, Elvie Musica. I know I'm forgetting some people, but
that's all right. These are all great names in the movement.
Yeah, these are all people that we met quite a few of them in Santa Barbara at the conference there.
Oh, and I don't want to leave out Eddie Lepp. He was there too.
Yeah.
And they started talking to the crowd about me running for office, and the next thing I knew, everyone was talking about me running for president. And
have you decided which party you're going to run with?
Well, I've always been a libertarian. I ran for governor. I got 74,000 votes as governor of California. And I'm prepared with a party that knows me and supports me. And this is not something that we're going to take lightly. We're going to form... I'm actually gone in 6 months from a prisoner number with Placer County to the government referring to me by my presidential candidate ID number with the Federal Election Committee.
Oh, that's terrific. That's really terrific.
We'd like you to be president and get you in our
Well,
corner.
I wish he was running for something now, So tell me now, who are you favoring in the election in November? This show is going to air probably just before the election.
End of October.
End of October. Maybe it might even air the first week in November. We're not sure yet, but who do you like in California?
I don't want to say, because there's a lot of things that are changing right now in California, and there are some good candidates coming up, but I don't want to pick any favorites right away. That guy had a badge. Did you see that badge that he had?
Well, we've been walking around trying to...
I'm wondering if you guys aren't DEA just filming us.
What we're going to do is we're going to play a game called Spot the DEA Agent, and we want to find out who they are. So if you can find them, we need some kind of a mark or something. We want to interview them, right? We want to find out why they keep wanting to beat up defenseless people.
Patience, yeah.
I can already tell you the answer. They don't. They hate it. It's not why they signed on. They know it's the act of cowardice, and they're being forced into that position by the girly men that are their bosses.
Politicians.
Yeah. The politicians in office.
The cowardly girly men. That's
so
what
vote
they
them
are.
out this November.
Were you aware of what happened in Riverside County over the past week?
It's absolutely shameful that 10 years after the passage of 250 and 3 years after the passage of SB 420, which says that they shall, not should, not might,
or may,
but they shall enact these cards. And, I spoke to the supervisors, the patients flew me in, and I spoke to them, and they gave me this crap about how the police say it's a violation of federal law.
Right.
And my question to them is, what federal law is it that makes it illegal to issue photo ID cards? Because that's all we're asking them to do.
Right.
I wrote a book called The Politics of Consciousness, in which I explore how each of the rights guaranteed to us have been usurped, stolen by traitorous people. But, right now we're celebrating 10 years. There's been a tremendous upside. This edible thing,
it's great.
It's amazing. There's got ice cream, delicious ice cream. They got sodas. They got candy bars that look like the real thing until you check the ingredients. And the third ingredient's hashish.
Hashish.
But the bud selection and variability, you can go and get 50, 100 strains at some of these clubs.
That's amazing.
And just in L.A. County, there are now over 100 clubs operating.
Wow.
So, we've taken a lot of hits. We've been the victims of some very dirty deeds by police and prosecutors and judges, but we're winning. We're ahead. We have friends everywhere. Dispensaries are opening up faster than the police can dare to dream.
We're outgrowing the government.
Talk about dare to open a dispensary.
Yeah.
Dare to do it.
Dare to do it, and we'll help you. We'll tell you. You can go to the American Medical Marijuana Association. You go to Americans for Safe Access. There's plenty of people out there that
You can go to us, the MAP organization.
They'll tell you the do's and don'ts of setting up a dispensary. SB 420 lays out all the ground rules. So,
what do you have to say to our viewers about your candidacy?
someday I hope all Americans will be able to stand up and say to me as their president, "Inhale to the chief."
Hail to the chief. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Steve.
Seriously, I do have a full and complete platform. I drive around in a converted car and burn biodiesel, so none of my money goes to terrorists. And by the way, I would like to see people making an effort to grow victory gardens of cannabis here in the United States. The federal government tells us that money somehow is going to terrorists, so it seems to me that we have a patriotic duty to grow victory gardens here in the United States to make sure that none of our money goes to terrorists abroad. It stays right here to good, hardworking people. Well, a lot of things derive from the drug war. I mean, if opium and other plants were the same cost as broccoli, can you imagine Osama bin Laden having to get by and finance his war with broccoli sales? So really, the drug war makes terrorism economically feasible. And without the huge incentive profit margins created by their prohibition,
yes.
then we wouldn't have the terrorism and the threat that we now have here.
I believe that very
And
much.
of course, I agree with Woody Harrelson that the war on terror is itself
Just another
terrorism.
part. Yeah.
Terrorism, yeah.
Well, you know, as long as there's innocent civilians dying at anybody's hands, whether it be collateral damage or by terrorists, that's terror in the families of those civilians.
Well, I've lost respect for the girly men that are running this country because they've had 10 years to implement. And they give us bogus arguments like a violation of federal law. Hell, it's no violation of any federal law to issue a photo ID to a patient to protect them from being harassed, jailed, humiliated, and bankrupted by police that don't like medical marijuana. So these men need to show some cojones and
Stand
follow
up for the
law.
truth.
Follow the law as it was written and passed by the people with Proposition 215. Follow the very specific, direct instructions by SB 420 that they are to set up these programs that are to protect patients. And stop hiding behind these bogus arguments and claims that it's somehow in conflict with federal law. If it's in conflict with federal law, why haven't you challenged it here in California and gotten the initiative removed? Because you know that you can't do that. It was written by the people, it was passed by the people, and it's beyond your purview to judge whether or not the people of California were wise in passing this law. But they certainly didn't hesitate to pass the law. Juries certainly support us in trial. The only people that seem to have any trouble understanding medical marijuana are people whose careers, whose selfish little careers, depend on them not understanding.
Yeah. And they're really short-sighted.
Hey, you like this shirt?
Yeah, I sure do.
I just got it back a couple of years ago. The police had it for 5 years. It was part of the evidence that they used against me in the famous trial that got me an acquittal. But why they would...
I want to see this. Is this made out of hemp or
This is
something?
a hemp shirt.
This is a hemp shirt, people.
Yeah.
This is made out of hemp. This is a real thing. And they kept it for how long?
5 years.
Was this evidence because it's
Yes.
illegal to have the shirt?
I don't
Can you
know.
believe that? They actually took the shirt off his back.
But I got it back.
Yeah.
And now I get to tell people, hey, I washed all the cop stuff off of it, and it's like my favorite shirt because
I can
it's
see why. It's
a
beautiful.
war.
I love this shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we can talk him out of it, Red. Do you think we could? Hey,
You know, but we got a pretty good shirt right here too,
We
Al.
do. We do.
You
We
can go
have
to
a
our
good shirt
website
here.
and get this
In
shirt.
fact, I'll trade you one of mine if I. No, I'll just give you one of mine.
Yeah.
Jack Harrow wanted this shirt. Eddie Lepp wants this shirt. I don't think you're going to talk me out of it.
Oh,
you know-
darn.
Do you know the batik artist that did that, or
What's that?
do you know the batik artist that did that? Or?
This was from China. It was one of the very first hemp shirts ever that
Wow.
came over. In fact, I had to have the wrist redone because it was like a tiny little wrist.
That's killer.
Well, Steve, this has been great. It's good to meet you here at the conference, or the Hemp Fest here in West Hollywood,
Yes.
or as the locals call it, WEHO. I'm not quite sure how to interpret that, but
I like that. WeHo.
I like that.
I like that. And
guys.
very good.
Hey,
And
if you are DEA, you're great guys.
well,
so.
if we are, you're
Come on
busted.
out.
Come with us.
You'll be seeing us. You'll be on TV.
It's great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Hang with